Showtime! The Capital G Show starts right now.
What's up YouTube? Capital G here, talking gadgets in this video, and why the deck hasn't seen play on, well, pretty much any level lately. And I think a lot of it has to do with Geargia kind of making the deck obsolete. You know, the last time that Gadget saw, I would say, a high level of competitive success was probably when Robbie top forward, I believe it was YCS Chicago. And I feel like we should have took a picture of that because it won't be happening anytime soon. Like, take the Gadget playstyle and the mindset, and I'm talking, you know, either Machina or template version of Gadgets, mainly Machina, because I feel like that is basically the best version of the Gadget deck. You know, it revolves around the mindset of always being +1 because of your monsters, you know, Gear Frame and any of the colored gadgets, and basically from there, if you can just 1-for-1 all your opponent's monsters and all their spells and traps, then you will always have the edge in the duel because you always have that extra card that your opponent doesn't. Template is pretty much the same thing. I mean, it basically just chooses to consolidate its resources into Gear Giant X, who is really just a big version of a gadget for the deck. You know, both of these decks should be very effective in theory, so it's like, how come nobody plays them anymore? And I mean, basically it's just a simple answer for a simple question. Geargia is just fundamentally, like, it's practically identical to the Gadget deck, but it's just better from like every single aspect. You know, in essence, they're both machine-based decks that revolve around little weenie monsters who can't attack over shit, and you know, basically when they need to get over something big, they just Voltron up into bigger monsters, and then those bigger monsters just neutralize whatever your opponent has on the field that's a problem, or just deliver like the finishing blow. But when you compare the two decks directly, I mean, it's no contest between them. You know, from the standpoint of just generating simple advantage, I'd probably give the edge to Gadgets. You know, after all, you've got 6 gadgets, you have 3 Gear Frame, all of which just instantly put you in the bonus as soon as they hit the field. And with Geargia, it's like, we all know that the deck starts and ends with Geargia Armor, who to its credit, unlike the Gadgets, doesn't often need protection because of its high 1900 defense. Now, using Armor doesn't make advantage as quickly as the Gadgets or Gear Frame, but, I mean, you can make advantage infinitely. Like, basically, you're only limited by what resources you still have left in your deck. I mean, even though Armor is really the only one card that makes advantage by itself, well, I mean, that is until Geargia Angler comes around and this shit just gets ridiculous. Anyways, I would say, I mean, it's still fine because it's searchable by Arsenal, so essentially you're running 6 copies of it. You know, unfortunately, that's pretty much where Gadgets, I mean, the advantage of running Gadgets over Geargia ends. You know, when you look at the extra deck capabilities, all the Gadget variants are incredibly limited. You know, you're working with rank 4 Xyz, and that's about it. And I'm not even talking like the really good ones like the Evolves or Xyz. You know, Gadgets do pay for the Xyz themselves, but, I mean, the rank 4 pool just isn't that great when it comes to generic cards. I mean, you've got a couple of really great, you know, utility Xyz out there like Cowboy and Dweller, where if you're in a specific situation or if you're playing a specific deck, you know, those cards are fantastic. But just in general, you look at Geargia and it's like, they can do the same exact plays. In fact, check that. The Geargia rank 4 plays are actually better than Gadgets because when you look at Gear Giant X, the card just works better in its own deck. I say that because obviously when the card goes off the field into the graveyard or banished or wherever the hell he's going to go, he helps you recuperate some of the resources that you put into making him. And then when you consider the fact that Geargia can synchro like nobody's business and Gadgets really don't have that ability, it's just pretty much easy to see why the deck just dominates this department. And I'm not just talking, you know, level 7 and 8, but also the forgotten about level 6. People don't really realize that Geargia can actually go into level 6. You know, you have Black Rose for field clearing, you've got Beret and Beredo, the card curry synchros, which give you draw power, swarm, anti-stall. You can make Stardust level 8 for protection. I mean, hell, you can even go into Barkion, like I said earlier, by using Strategists. I mean, that just pretty much gives you lockdown on traps. And considering you can do all of this for what, like 4 tuners, usually 2 Watchdog, a Strategist, you throw in a Birdman, and all of these cards are searchable. In fact, 3 of which can be summoned from the freaking deck. So it's like you don't have to give up 1 ounce of consistency to get all this power. And it also makes the deck inherently better at swarming. I think it makes the deck faster. It also doesn't have to deal with the huge double-edged sword that is Machina Fortress. I love that card absolutely to death, but I mean, let's be real. If your fortress dies to a spell or trap, you are absolutely fucked. I mean, sometimes you're talking about an investment of 3 cards from your hand. I mean, that's pretty much depleting your entire hand just to have it die to a deep prison or fall into a bottomless, and then you're just sitting there like, well, fuck, I guess I lose. You know, Geargia, a lot of times they don't even make their plays until they've racked up like 3 or 4 cards just from armor. And if you don't have a bunch of cards already in your hand, you just kind of sit on armor. I mean, it has 1900 defense. As long as you protect it, you're perfectly fine. It's very hard to get over that card without summoning something from the extra deck. So it's kind of easy to see why Gadgets is like pretty much an obsolete deck. And I mean, for right now, I think that you just have to be a Gadget fanatic to want to play Gadgets over, you know, a deck like Geargia. The playstyle is very similar. You know, again, you look at the makeup of the deck, very small machine monsters, Voltron up in the big shit. It's basically the same concept as Gadgets. You know, it's unfortunate, and I think this is the way that it's going to stay unless, you know, obviously something happens on the ban list or something like that. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching as always, and I'm out. Subscribing makes life happy.